So say there's a memory fragment on the other side of the... over there. Okay, so now how... Up. I have no idea if I was supposed to do it this way or not, but that's the way we're doing it. A white glob of something is bobbing between the stones of the gently flowing river. I crouch down and pick it up. Amid the warm summer air, paper dampened by the cool water sticks to my fingers. The water damage means I can hardly read any of it. It seems like a mixture of papers. The part I can read looks like a plane ticket. The destination is somewhere overseas. Someone is trying to leave the country. So why is their ticket an expensive and important item down here in the river? Was it even used? In the same moment, I'm surrounded by a white light again. The railroad is back in the view. I'm inside an old house with a majestic beams across the ceiling. Suck! The sound of a hand on a cheek rings out. Hey, yo. That's it. I'm finished with you. A young girl who still looks in her teens is pressing her hand to her cheek and glaring at an elderly man. It could be her grandfather. No. More likely her father. His face is bright red and he's breathing hard and angry. At the side is a young man sitting in a suit. His eyes are round in surprise at the father suddenly hitting his daughter, frozen in place. I'll never allow this. The old man is thin and doesn't look in good condition. He's breathing hard and struggling to overwhelm the young girl. Hearing the commotion, the neighbors have started to gather. Hey, what's going on here? Hitting your daughter? You finally lost it, old-timer? They come into the house with the mud from the field still on their shoes, grabbing the old man and holding him back. Yukiko? Are you okay? Yukiko is still holding her cheek, tears in her eyes. But luckily her father doesn't seem as strong. She stands up and goes over to grab her bags from the corner of the room. I'm never coming back here again. This is the last time you'll ever see each other. With that, she runs out. With the sound of the door slamming closed, my awareness returns to my body. It seems this ticket is involved in the dispute between the old father and his daughter. Something about her trying to leave home. I cling to the wet paper, but nothing else comes to me. I'll look around to see if there's anything else that might provide a link to the real world. This ticket was washed down the river and caught up between these rocks. That means it might have come from upriver. There's a spot where you can look down over the waterfall. Up the steps in front of me. Give me a throw from up there. I need to look. Okay. Also, I love the music of this, but Jesus. The music goes, like, even though I've been lowering it more and more and more, it still feels like it's just getting louder and louder and louder. Alright, is there anything? Nope, okay, so we'll go over here. There's more paper here, half buried in the dirt. I pick it up. It's another piece of a plane ticket. That's not all. There are other scraps of paper here. I pick them up and try to jigsaw them back together. It takes me a moment to work out what I'm looking at. A portrait, neatly drawn in pencil. I close my eyes and think of the person drawn there, and the light spreads around me again. This time it's just the father from above. He's standing up here, looking over the waterfall. He has the ticket and the pencil drawing in his hand. The picture is a young, beautiful woman. She looks a little like the girl from the previous version, but perhaps a little older. The face of her sister, then. Or perhaps her mother? The man looks at it intently, held in his dry and wrinkled hand, and then he scrunches it up. Then he rips them up using both hands and throws the scraps towards the waterfall. They flutter down like beautiful butterflies. He stands there a while longer, as though in a daze. He finally looks up and heads back off towards his house, his feet dragging behind him. I wonder at the power of his emotion that could make him want to crush the dreams of his daughter. Is it purely a response to not wanting her to leave? I should follow after him. He heads off straight down the path. That's where the memory ends. I decide to follow and look up further clues along the path. Oh, I thought it was going to be up there, but it looks like it's this way. I see the back of the man again. He continues along this path. Okay. Oh, all the way down there. Right. I can see the mind of the old man. He's seething with anger, beset by sadness. Oh. This is strange. I can't see the old man any longer. Although I'm pretty sure this is his house. This isn't going to work if I can't follow his memories. I repeat that to myself, closing my eyes and straining with my other senses. Focus. Focus. Over there, I think I hear voices from that direction. I look toward the ocean and see a faint light. I should head over there and see what it is. Over there? Let's see. Yep, right there. Got it. I'm locked in now, baby. I hear a man's voice, murmuring gently. The voice of a young woman replies. A little shy, a little playful. A man in his mid-20s, dressed in a perfectly maintained suit, is talking with a young woman. It's the two I already saw back in the father's house. The man is sitting close to the girl named Yukiko, with his arms casually wrapped around her shoulders. He has glasses with sparkling silver rims and beautifully styled hair that remains completely in peace, even beneath the blazing sun. His skin is a little pale, making his white teeth pop when he smiles. He seems open to the kindness he's showing her. She seems open to the kindness he's showing her. Her cheeks gently flush as they talk. Hey, think of it like this. This side of the tracks is the world that you grew up in. A place filled with restraints, unpleasant memories, all the things that could hold you back. But you've obtained wings. Beautiful wings. The wings of talent. Oh, please. I wouldn't call myself talented. I'm telling you the truth. Was there a single soul who didn't praise your winning entry in the art exhibit? But even if you have such beautiful wings, they're meaningless if you don't know how to fly. That's what I need? Yes. Once you know how to fly, you can easily leave this dusty old world behind and cross to the other side. Cross the ocean, cross the skies, and live the life that you want, Yukiko. My board are ready to sign off on us supporting your studies overseas. I'm here to teach you how to fly, that's all. There's nothing for you to be worried about. So this girl is a talented artist, and the man is here from some organization that wants to support her studying overseas. But I'm still worried. Worried about what? What could you ever need to worry about with me here alongside you? I'll help to convince your father, you'll see. I pick up the rest of the situation for more fragments of their conversation. It seems she submitted papers stating her guardian's approval to the organization that wishes to sponsor her. but only by forging her father's signature. This man has now come to try and help her explain the situation to the old man. It's more than that, though. Something deeper. I've always had my place in my life pushed onto me. That's been the only place I've had. So to just fly away from all of that, like you say, that doesn't feel like me at all. She starts to explain everything. Her father suffered a great deal when he was younger, losing his family in the war, and finally got married later than most people. Giko was his only daughter, a late gift in his life. She had lost her mother at a young age. My mother always seemed so fragile, like she knew, thinking back, was somehow aware of the impending end of her life. I have memories of her worrying about whether her husband and daughter would be able to carry on without her. Worries, not from a financial perspective, but a mental one. I think now that maybe those are false memories, though, created as I observed my father become more difficult after her passing and become harsher on me. Watching his suffering, was harder for me than her death herself. The fear that cared for me was placing a burden on my father cast a long shadow on my young heart. He was sad that she was gone, but didn't seem happy at all that I was still alive. Maybe I was unconsciously aware of that. Once, when something sad happened, and I was crying, my father called out my mother's name, muttering to himself, asking why she was gone. I was always treated as less, handled as less than my mother, the woman who could never return. As I became a teenager, my father became even harder to handle, even more isolated, and I talked with him less and less. He would get angry or complain at me, purely driven by his own personal feelings. He didn't feel at all like he considered me to be his daughter, like he had any place for me in his life at all. The only person he could truly accept in his heart, in this wide world, was my mother. The one person who was no longer here. He had no interactions with our neighbors. I started to think of him as weak, pathetic human being. After school each day, I wanted to spend as little time in the house with him as possible. I'd take my sketchbook and go out alone to the beach, into the woods, and start drawing. I especially love it around here, along this path leading down to the ocean. I might have found some friends to play with, but there was something lonely about me, just like my father. Until my third year of high school, I'd only really sketched scenery. Then one day, I wanted to hold on to my fading images of my mother's face, so I drew her in pencil. That's the piece that won the prize. I drew it to escape from the place that I was being forced into. So it's strange to suddenly be told that I do have wings, that I can finally be free. The girl finishes speaking, looking down at her 2 feet. The man listens quietly to her whole story and tells her again that she had nothing to worry about and everything is going to be fine. The girl turns her head embarrassed. After you've gone over, I'm going to be coming right away on business. We'll see each other again almost immediately. He casually places his hand on her own. At those words, her expression brightens immensely, and she looks up at the man. They spend a minute in silence, and then the man speaks again. For today, let's explain the whole study abroad process to your father. Then we'll have him meet with the board in Tokyo, and after that, you'll just have to wait for your departure date. All the hassle, all the red tape, all the money, will handle everything. You don't need to worry. The man checks his watch and suggests they get back to the house. They walk away together. I watch them go, and I see a light bulb behind them. That same house again. I should go and see what happens next. Whew. Man. So, that same house, is the house over here? Right, this one over here? Yeah. There's more paper on the veranda. Next to it, what looks like the girl's bag. The paper is the plane ticket, as I expected, but not yet ripped up. Upon noticing these things, the same kind of scenes filled my head that I saw when I was picked up the ripped ticket on the riverbed. The father, the daughter, and the same young man are all sitting around the table in a tatami-floored room. This seems to be just before the girl was slapped and stormed out. The relationship between the two is clearly strained, with tension humming in the air as they avoid any talk beyond anything absolutely necessary. You're going overseas? Without even consulting me? You haven't even graduated high school yet. I can't allow this. His daughter abstainedly states she will leave as soon as she graduates. What have you ever done for me, as my father? Why do you get to arrogantly oppose my dreams now? Her words are sharp, as though unleashing all of her pent-up disappointment with her father. Her expression says she's only imparting something that's already been decided, and her father should have no further say. On the table, there are copies of her entry documents for an overseas art school, her plane tickets, and all sorts of materials showing how far this idea has come. It's clearly far more than just a pipe dream. His daughter makes her final proclamation. She's going into Tokyo to meet with people setting up her study overseas. Jesus. The old man grabs her daughter's hand. Please, at least stay until the anniversary of your mother's death. I have my own future all ahead of me, but all you ever talk about is mother. You're cold to everyone, unloved by anyone. Just live in your loneliness with your memories of a dead woman. Wow. That's harsh. That's when the old man raises his hand against his daughter. The neighbors rush in and out of the commotion, just like before. The daughter grabs her bags and dashes out of the house, heading towards the station. Her shoes not even on properly. The man gives a quick bow to the father and heads out after her. The father watches them leave, stunned in silence. Alone again, he stands up and takes a sealed letter from the back of a drawer. On the envelope it says, "Dear Yukiko, congratulations on your high school graduation. Your loving mother." Oh, a letter for her daughter that she left before she passed. Is this how everything I love must leave me? The old man mutters to himself in the dark room. Oh, dude. He looks down at the documents and then notices something on the ground. A piece of paper. Her ticket for the flight overseas. It seems she dropped it in a hurry to grab her bag and rushed out of the house. Then, there's the picture that her daughter drew of her mother. Her father picks it up and looks at it for a while. Having seemingly made up his mind, he leaves the house and heads for the falls. After watching him go, the scenery blurs and fades. I think this is over. But then a different scene appears before me. The girl is crying, looking at her father with anger seething in her eyes. Just before departure, she discovers the pieces of the plane ticket. Why would you do this? She stands up and quietly leaves the house, looking shell-shocked and hollow. It's time for the train to Tokyo to depart. She can't make it for the plane now. If she had found out about this sooner, if she had a little more knowledge about how things work, she might have been able to resolve this issue. But she doesn't seem to have the capacity for such rational thought at the moment. She's depressed, dejected, and nothing more. Her father lets her go, his expression completely unchanged, with no hint of what he's thinking. Dude. I look around, but I've lost sight of her. I need to keep searching. So I'm assuming that she's going to be over here, right? There it is. No sign of her. Maybe she went to the station? Oh, the station's right there. Oh, there's all sorts of things here now. Oh, Yukiko, all set to head out? I asked my daughter to come and see you off. She's got something else on today. I'm sorry about that. Looks like Yukiko made a call from here, but no one picked up. Whenever she got upset as a child, she always used to hide in the bamboo grove over next to the temple. Oh, so also look, if it's white versus blue. So if it's white, I haven't interacted with it. I thought Yukiko was leaving today, but she left the station and went back towards her house. Wait, what? She left and went towards the house. I can't see her at the station either. That one right there said that she left and went back towards her house. Did she... There's nothing there. One of those did say up by the shrine. If this is the school, I never went to the shrine. Yeah, we didn't go up here before. Let's see, right? One thing said that she went back towards the school. The other one said that she liked to go up by the shrine. Okay. Well, for the first time in this game, I'm lost. Alright, so I can't go any further that way. Huh. There's gotta be one that I didn't see then. Something there. Can't see her in the station either. Maybe if I go on the train? Yeah, no, nothing there. It looks like you can't go in the bathroom either. Alright. I thought you could, but she left the train and went back toward her house. When she gets a shot, she goes to just go to next to the temple. The bamboo grove next to the temple. So one says that she went up here, the other one says that she went... But I didn't see a bamboo grove up here, though. Or did I just not look around enough? I can't believe I'm like this lost right now. Because the only other thing I was thinking was that, like, it said that, like, you know, she went back home, or she went back towards her home, right? Looks like she made a call here. So here, boom. She made a call, no one answered. So I was like, oh, she went back home, and it never let me go this way before. So I was like, maybe there's something this way then. Here's some bamboo. Oh, that's just highly unfortunate. I got over here earlier, so I don't know why it's being so difficult now. Alright. No? Oh, hold on a sec, right over there. There's something. By the temple? Oh, okay, so this is the temple. I glimpsed someone among the bamboo. Is that Yukiko? Brother, your guess is as good as mine. Oh, right over there. She's walking towards the ocean, tears flowing down her cheeks. Maybe this is the spot she talked about, where she came to sketch and get away from her father. She continues to walk forward, unsteady on her feet. Maybe she's imagining herself flying on those wings she was promised. In the distance, I see the train depart the station and start to pick up speed. Yukiko still isn't looking ahead of herself What she sees is a future that's now lost to her. Nothing more. Before I even realize that the train is right there, it's approaching at high speed. Everything is smothered, but it's clattering for one instant of action. The oncoming train hits her, sending her body flying through the air, as though she really has grown incredible wings. It's strange how beautiful I think she looks in this moment. It's a weird statement. I don't know if this was born from some self-destructive impulse, but of course she doesn't actually have wings and crumples back to the ground almost at once. Blood pools around her. The train carries on, no one on board aware of what happened. Then a dark world lingers for a time. Eventually, someone living nearby notices her lying there. People start to panic at once, calling for an ambulance. The nurse from the school rushes to the scene. There's no sign of her father in the crowd. She's placed on a stretcher and carried off towards the station. I can't believe it. All because her father ripped up her ticket. This surely isn't what he wanted to happen. Reeling from this tragic turn of events, I decide to head towards the station and see how everything finally plays out. Man. People from the town gathered in front of the station. They all have serious faces. I hear the mention of a funeral. So she did pass away. The accident killed her. I grip my hands, almost unable to bear it. But no, I listen more, and it seems a man has died. Her father. He had been sick for a long time, but never went to the doctor, and then suddenly collapsed. His daughter survived and was discharged from a hospital a while ago, but severed all ties with her father and never returned to Natsuguri. One of the people comments that, with her father having destroyed her dreams of studying overseas, Hiko probably won't even return for the funeral. I'm unable to understand the pain of this reality and shake my head from side to side until the real world fades away. How did all this come to this? The gasping people and their gasping voices fade, and the empty Natsuguri reappears around me. I realize I still have the plane ticket in my hand. It's the one that fell onto the floor when the three of them were talking in the house. In the world I just saw, the father found this and ripped it up. So what if he never found it? Here we go again. And there it is. The sound of the railway crossing. Am I meant to ride the train again? With this ticket in hand, am I meant to save this sad world? Here we go again. Here we go again. This is wild. Flashbang. Stop that. Another scene from the real world appears before me. Kiku has a bag that looks too big for her over one shoulder and dragging in a trunk behind her. She's walking around the station looking all around with an anxious expression on her face. All the meetings are finished. She's back from Tokyo, and the time to depart is almost at hand. She's got all of her things packed and come to the station, but with one caveat. She can't find her plane ticket. She's asking all the people around her if they've seen it, a piece of paper, her precious ticket. Then she's in the phone box, perhaps calling the man from the Tokyo organization, and she can't seem to reach him. With a prayer on my lips, I take the ticket in my hand and place it on the edge of the bench. She comes over and slumps down on the bench, shaking her head, unaware of what to do next. She then looks to the side and finds the ticket that I just put down. Her eyes widen and she reaches out for it. Whatever is this doing here? She can't believe it. She traces her name with her fingers, making sure it's actually her own. I lost it. I'm sure I lost it. Of course, after telling my father that day, I dashed out of the house with my bag still open. Then I came to the station to head to the meeting in Tokyo. The ticket must have dropped out then. This was a quiet station, so it's just been sitting here this whole time. Her expression brightens as she explains the situation to herself. I found it. Thank you for helping. She speaks loudly to the station staff and the old couple waiting at the bus stop. The old lady smiles happily, taking her hand and telling her how to be careful on her travels. She asks if Yukiku will come back in the future. She knows the girl is going very far away. Oh, no doubt. No, I doubt it. After I graduate, I'm planning on living over there. I'll find work there too. I probably won't be back until I'm really settled in, but please write. The old lady gives a wry chuckle, commenting on how there isn't much here, and that she probably won't want to see her stubborn old father either. Kiko responds by casting her eyes downward, silently accepting this. It feels to me like she may never return. Her heart is filled with relief at finding the ticket, hope for her studies abroad, the release of escaping her father, and her dreams of meeting up with a man from the organization once she gets to her destination. She proudly climbs aboard the almost deserted train, trunk and all, and leaves Natsuguri behind. I have no idea if she'll succeed overseas. She hasn't made up with her father prior to this departure. She may never get another chance to repair that relationship. Then finally change her wings, she flies freely into the sky. A sky where huge clouds and a deep, merciless, massive blue spreads before her. There's some old ladies standing around, talking in front of the station. Maybe I can hear something about Yukiko's time overseas. A friend in Tokyo happened to tell me something. Pure coincidence. There's that man in a suit who was around here from overseas study group. He came with Yukiko a few times, right? A friend of mine knows him, or knows of him at least. She said he's quite the playboy. Every time she sees him, there's a different woman on his arm apparently. Oh no. I hear more gossipy voices. Someone else in the ground suddenly points, "Hey, look over there." Everyone turns towards the bridge. It's Yukiko's father. He's walking around the station with a dazed look on his face. I'm glad to see he seems to be clinging on in this world, but he doesn't look to be in top condition. The sickness is probably close to taking him. The gossip says nothing, embarrassed looks on their face. Just waiting for this man to pass by. But he comes up and speaks to them, his voice dry and raspy. She left? Has she? He asks. Yes, I told her to do her best, one of them replies. You saw her off? That's good then. She's a lonely child. Like me. He looks at the empty, quiet platform for a moment and then totters off on unsteady feet again. His retreating back looks so sad. In the world before I hid the tickets, he was a terrible father who crushed his daughter's dreams, but something nags him. He crosses the bridge and heads away again. I decide to follow after him. Alright, so what actually happens there? He walked toward the ocean. What are you doing over here, Pops? The old man crosses the tracks and then takes a look around, a little puzzled before I change things. This is the spot where his daughter was hit by the train. The man stares blankly into the air, eyes unfocused, but looking exactly at the space where his daughter was sent flying by the train. Maybe he's momentarily being affected by something from another world. Then he snaps back to himself and continues on towards the 6 Jizo stones? Right here. The old man stops in front of the Jizo stones. It's like he's looking into some distant world again. I remember the stories behind the 6 Jizo stones. When people are reborn, they are placed into one of 6 worlds. It might be the human world, or a hell-like place, or heaven. Wherever someone is born, however, their soul cannot escape from pain and suffering. The 6 Jizus are the ones who save those souls from their pain, with one for each of the possible 6 worlds. I realized he placed his hands on what looks like a small pile of stones at the side of the statues. It seems to be something he has close attachment with. He starts to cry softly, keeping his sobs quiet. Yes, everything has left me. That's what he mutters. Yukiko had talked about how her father had lost his own parents and his wife. He was still young himself. Maybe that pile of stones is for someone from his family. Everyone he loves, leaving them behind. It can't be easy. Maybe he is here, cursing these Jizu for their fate he had to lead. Or maybe he's begging for their aid. I watched the old man standing weathered by the sea breeze. Then, the memories from the real world cut out. I'm back in my own empty Natsuguri. Having witnessed memories from the real world and getting involved again, I took back the plane ticket from that stubborn, sad old man and helped his daughter to make her dream come true. Maybe she'll never know about that suit's philandering ways or have a chance for an open and honest discussion with her father. Even so, it has to be better than a world of despair for all. With her having to give up on her dreams so close to its realization, I have to believe that, and believing it is the only thing I can do. I stand there for a long time. Another failure to return to my world, and another failure, and another failure to find a common memory with the people of Natsuguri. My hands start to feel strange as I bring them to my face. They are both semi-transparent. I can see the glass on the ground behind them. I squeeze my eyes tightly and then I open them again and see my hands are back to normal. What's the meaning of this, then? It's like my body is fading away. Is this how I will return to my own world? Or, if I don't hurry up, will I vanish completely? If I'm going to vanish, though, where will I go next? Into the light? Or merged into that darkness? I'm back in the heavy, oppressively cold depths of the ocean. I move my hands and my legs in desperation. I want to return to the light. The chaos I created by thrashing around does create some light for just a moment, but that soon vanishes into the darkness again. If the hollow emptiness around me is just going to swallow everything, what's the point in even resisting? What's the point in craving illumination? What lies beyond my intervention in the world of the people of Natsuguri? If I want answers from the heavy, cold depths around me, it doesn't seem like I'm going to get them. Alright, Nasuguri Memory Fragment 2 complete. Alright, interesting. Interesting.